Hey, it's Captain Jimbo Thomas here aboard the Thomas Flyer, Southeast captain for the Florida Insider Fishing Report, Southeast region that is. We're going to talk about how to catch some bait today. There's two ways to go about it. We can net them or sabiki them. Sabiki baits are going to work a lot better than net baits. We use R&R tackle sabikis, and there's every shape, size, colors. Most of them will work for just about anything, but 7s and 6s and 4s is what we typically use, depending on what kind of bait we're targeting. Now, when it comes to netting the bait, about the only baits we'll net are ballyhoos or pilchards. If you net herrings, they're not going to live very good. They're not going to do you much good. So if we go over a big school of pilchards, we'll throw the net on them, or if we're trying to get some live ballyhoos, we'll net them. Otherwise, everything is sabikied. And we can sabiki ballyhoos and our pilchards as well, and they will live much better than the net caught ones. First step to catching bait is to find them. There's plenty of good spots, bait patches, markers, a range marker out in front of Government Cut's a great one, a lot of buoys. So the bait's gonna be at the standard spots. Go out there with a block of chum, put it in, let the bait get happy and come to you. Drop your sabiki down and catch them. Now, depending on what time of the year it is and what we're looking for, that determines what kind of bait we want to fish also. So the fish might be eating ballyhoo this week, or they might be eating herrings, or goggle eyes, or tinker mackerels, or speedos. So depending on what's going on, that determines what we're gonna fish for. We'd like to have a little bit of everything, a great variety, because you never know, you might get out there today and they've been eating herrings the last week, and today they're eating ballyhoos. So it's nice to have a good variety. So we get whatever we can catch, but we do target certain species. Now for herrings, which is probably our most favorite bait down here in the Southeast region for everything, sailfish, mahis, king mackerel, tunas, they work great for everything. You wanna use your sabiki rig. Again, if you net them, they're not gonna make it. We're using a PG 6s, RG, RFs, colors. Some of them have green dots, some have red dots, some of them are both. I don't think it makes much difference. We put our chum out. Also, we'll mark them on our depth machine, go around the area that we know that they frequent, mark them on our depth machine, and then drop our sabiki down. Now on the herrings, they like to bite on the drop. So you drop it down, and also if you're marking them on your machine, you can see that they're down 15 feet. Maybe you're in 30 feet of water. Say, all right, I'm marking them at 15 feet. Drop down 15 feet, what you think's 15 feet, and just slow lifts up and down. They're usually gonna hit it on the drop. Soon as they hit, those herrings and most all other baits, they start swimming up. So if they grab this bottom bait and start swimming up, you're gonna have a huge tangle. So as soon as you feel it go light or almost slack, start doing a slow retrieve up, and that's when the other ones will stack up on your sabiki rig, so you can get 4 or 5 or 8 on that rig. If you leave it down there trying to let it stack up, you're gonna have nothing but a tangle. So 1 at a time is better than a tangle. 5 at a time is great, but if it happens, great. If it doesn't, drop down and catch some more. Also, you wanna use a de-hooker. This is an R&R tackle de-hooker. The least amount of touching that we do on these baits, the better that they're gonna live and the more bites you're gonna get out of a hardier bait. When that bait comes up, you wanna use your de-hooker, de-hook them right into the bait well. If he hits the deck, throw them in there anyways, but if you can avoid touching them, that's the best bait set you're gonna have. Cigar minnows are gonna be in the same areas as those herrings. A lot of times they'll come right up to the chum bag. Best technique to get those is just hold your sabiki still right in front of the chum where those baits are swimming around eating the chum in a frenzy, and they'll grab your sabiki rig thinking it's a piece of chum or who knows what floating back there. Goggle eyes, that's nighttime stuff for the most part. I like my beauty sleep, so I don't usually go out at night catching them, but there's plenty of times in the day that we do catch goggle eyes. They'll come up in the chum a lot of times, or you'll mark them on your depth machine, you'll get them right on the bottom. So there's plenty of times we do get goggle eyes in the daytime. Night is the best time to get them, obviously. Ballyhoo, they'll often come up in the chum as well. They'll usually stay back a little bit. You can take your weight off of your sabiki. We're using a 2-ounce weight, You can take the weight off or put a real small weight on there to where the bait is more on the surface. The ballyhoo will grab the sabiki. Or you can get a small hook, put a little piece of shrimp or ballyhoo, whatever kind of cut bait you have, put that on there, drift it back there. The ballyhoos will grab that also. So those are our main baits. In between catching all those, we're gonna catch blue runners. We catch pinfish. If we're out in a little deeper water, speedos will oftentimes come up. We'll catch all those, throw them in the well. Big smorgasbord of bait, more the merrier. Keep everybody happy. Whatever we happen to encounter that day, we're ready for them. And for more tips like this, you can subscribe to the Captain Rick Murphy YouTube channel.